So in this video, I'm going to do a quick course overview and talk about how you can get the most out of this course. Please watch this video to the end. In the last half of this video, I'll talk about how to access the coding exercises, which are very important. So this panel on the right is what you would see in the course in the browser. And I do have some students that don't want to cover anything conceptual. They just want to get right into writing code. If that is you, go directly to the linked list section and start with the constructor video. So there'll be two things I'm going to cover here. First, I'm going to talk about why you should come up here and do these two sections before you get to the linked list section. And then I'm going to talk about how to access the coding exercises. So first, let's talk about Big O. And Big O is a way of measuring how efficient your code is. And I'm going to give you just a quick example of where we might apply that. Let's say you're writing an application and you're trying to decide, should you store your data in a linked list or a doubly linked list? So you're looking at a singly linked list first. And the most important thing to you is being able to remove the last item as efficiently as possible. Is a singly linked list going to be most efficient, or would it be better to use a doubly linked list? Would this be more efficient when you remove the last item? Now, it just so happens that a doubly linked list is much more efficient at this particular task. And we'll get into all the reasons for that when we get into the course. But the important thing here is the way we're going to talk about this efficiency is going to be the language of Big O. So there are three different reasons you should watch this section. First, we're going to be talking about the Big O of everything we do with every data structure and every algorithm throughout the course. And we're going to be having quizzes on it and spend a lot of time on this topic. So that's the first reason you should watch this section. The second reason is you can see just right here, if you're making decisions on what data structure to use in your code, you need to understand this if you're going to write efficient code. So that's reason number two, but there is a third really big reason. There's 100% chance when you go into a coding interview that they will ask you questions about Big O. And now this next topic here, classes and pointers, is very short. It only has 2 videos in it. One is an introduction to classes and the other one is on pointers. So first, let's talk about classes. Every data structure we create in this course will be using a class. So when we write the code for a linked list, for example, we're actually creating a linked list class. So it's important to know the basics of how classes work. But the other video, pointers, this is something that trips up a lot of students. So for example, if I ask a lot of students to show me where head and tail are in this diagram, they will say this is head and this is tail. And that is actually incorrect. And the reason is that neither head nor tail are nodes. Head and tail are both variables that are pointers that can point to a node. So head is this pointer. Now it just so happens that it is pointing at this node, but head is that variable that points to that node. And when you have a variable that's a pointer, it has some characteristics that are different than variables that are, say, like an integer. And it will be important to understand those differences. So now let's move to the final topic in this video, and that is the coding exercises. So I'm going to come up here to the linked list section, and I'm going to open this. And then we're going to come down here to the constructor. And as I mentioned earlier, this would be the first place where we are really writing code in the course. And I'm going to click on this resources tab, and you can see that we have an exercise and solution file. And if you click on these will download, and then you can import those into whatever coding environment that you're using. So this is one way to access the coding exercises. But I do have some students that don't want to download a file and import it. They just want to do it in the browser in the course. And if that's the way you want to do it, just scroll all the way to the bottom. And at the bottom, there's a section called Coding Exercises. So I'll open this, and then you can see up here that same coding exercise for the linked list constructor is down in this section as well. So for the coding exercise, you either download the exercise from the video under the Resources tab, or you do it down here. You don't do both. And the reason is these will both be the same exercise either way. So if you want to get the most out of this course, as soon as we get done with a video where we're going through code, immediately do the coding exercise and reinforce that learning. So I took a lot of time in creating these coding exercises, and they are designed to give you an opportunity to write the code for each topic as quickly as possible. And I think you will find these to be more efficient than writing all of the code from scratch. And with that, that is our quick course overview.